Nightly News is a presentation of NBC News. More Americans watch NBC News than any other news organization in the world.
Road. It appears to be coming undone, the merger that brought two healthcare giants together.
An indictment is handed up against a man suspected in the murders of 4 women in Yosemite.
And marine biologists try to explain why yet another whale has been found dead in the Bay Area.
Live from the news leader in Northern California, News Center 4 at 6. Here's the very latest.
I think they took a hard look at themselves in the mirror and said, this is not what we're about.
UCSF and Stanford medical centers may be ready for surgery after hemorrhaging millions of dollars since their high-profile merger. Hello, everybody. I'm Pam Moore, in tonight for Suzanne Shaw.
And I'm Pete Wilson. Thank you for joining us tonight. The merger of 2 prestigious medical hospitals was supposed to make them stronger. But since UCSF and Stanford medical centers joined forces, the losses have climbed into the tens of millions. UCSF has more than 16,000 staffers. At Stanford Medical Center, there are more than 11,000. Hundreds of jobs hang in the balance tonight, and for coverage of a complex issue, we turn to News Center 4's Anthony Moore with details on the apparent change of heart in all of this, and then Linda Yee in San Francisco with some good news for UCSF during this troubling time. Let's begin with Anthony.
Well, Pete, this may be the beginning of the end of the 4-hospital UCSF Stanford Healthcare Corporation. The 2 presidents of the founding universities have apparently lost confidence in it and are asking for a formal review. The hospital merger was supposed to save money, eliminating overlap and reducing competition for paying patients. But instead, the red ink mounted. So just 2 years into the merger, the presidents of Stanford and UCSF are putting on the brakes. In a letter to the chairman of the merged hospitals board, the university presidents write, "The current structure has not given us the flexibility to deal with the complexities unique to our respective institutions."
Are you suing for divorce here?
The answer is no. When you're faced with the kind of losses we're running at the $60 million plus level, one does not lose the opportunity to look at every option in front of you.
However, State Senator Jackie Speer, a key legislator on this issue, says a split is inevitable.
I think the merger is, within a very short period of time, going to be dissolved.
Some joint ventures will undoubtedly continue. It's the threatened closure of Mount Zion in San Francisco which is prompting the universities to reassess the merger now. The cost of providing for its poor inner-city population accounts for the lion's share of the system's red ink. But Zion is a mainstay of the San Francisco community and also serves as a key training ground for the UCSF Medical School students. So the university presidents realized the merged hospital system couldn't always make decisions in the best interest of the schools.
What we have, as the 2 members have agreed, is that the decision around Mount Zion is clearly far more critical to the University of California School of Medicine than it is to Stanford.
State Senator Speer says if Mount Zion reverts to UCSF instead of remaining part of a private corporation, lawmakers will ensure it doesn't have to close.
It absolutely makes it easier to provide support, financial support to Mount Zion as part of a UC hospital setting.
Now, UCSF will make a recommendation on the future of Mount Zion to this UCSF Stanford Healthcare Board sometime later this month, and everyone expects that whatever UCSF says, this board will do. As for the future of this particular organization, October 1st is when a recommendation will come out from both UCSF and Stanford as to whether or not they want to continue with this, but all signs point to an end. Linda Yee is standing by at Mount Zion Hospital, where this must be some good news for a hospital that in just the past 2 weeks has seen 40 staffers leave because they're afraid of such troubled times. Linda?
Well, it is some curious times here, Anthony. There is good news today in spite of all the financial problems that then hit this institution. UC San Francisco's Cancer Center, which is where I'm standing right now, becomes one of only 59 institutions across the country that has been designated by the National Cancer Institute as a top cancer research center. This is the only one, of course, in Northern California even. This, of course, all means that for patients who come here who have cancer, they will now be at the center of world-class research. They will get access to experimental drugs and, of course, more hope at beating their cancer.
So beautiful.
Jeannie McGregor is crying tears of joy. It is the poem her sister Lynn is reading that makes her day, even in the face of her devastating health problems. Every week, she comes to the UC San Francisco Cancer Center to receive her treatment of Herceptin and Taxol and prays the medicine will stop her breast cancer from spreading further. It already has attacked her lungs and brain.
I am determined to beat it, you know, with my doctors and with my own healing practices and with my spirit and with my support.
She has reason to be hopeful. Now the center's recognition by the National Cancer Institute will elevate the facility to an elite group. $850,000 a year in government funding will pour into the center for more cancer research. The designation will attract world-class scientists, and experimental drug therapies will open up to patients.
We'll make it easier and faster for investigators here to bring their ideas into clinical testing. So it will make it easier and faster.
And for patients like McGregor, it's the difference between living or dying.
My God, I mean, needless to say, all of us who are dealing with cancer want to have more dollars, more research, faster, better, more, sooner.
Right.
You know, there's so many things that are so close right now. And we just need, you know, just that extra boost.
The new status comes at a time when the UCSF Mount Zion partnership has hit financial problems, and there is still a proposal to close down Mount Zion's hospital and emergency center. But doctors at the cancer center are hopeful the hospital will now stay open.
We have made the case that we need to have tremendous clinical support at this site.
Right now, UC San Francisco's Cancer Center receives $25 million from the National Cancer Institute for 94 separate research projects. That amount is expected to significantly go up in the coming years. So very good news for the Cancer Center here, Pete.
All right, Linda Yee, thank you very much, and Anthony Moore as well.
An indictment in the murder of a Yosemite naturalist today. Suspect Cary Stayner has already confessed to killing 26-year-old Joey Armstrong in Yosemite National Park. Today, a federal grand jury formally charged him. News Center 4's Laura Anthony is in Fresno. That's where the indictment was handed up. She joins us with late details. Laura.
Pam, this was a unanimous decision by his own admissions, and with some additional evidence presented in court by the FBI, this grand jury decided that Cary Stayner should stand trial for the brutal murder of a Yosemite employee. It took a secret panel of 22 just 1 hour to determine there's enough evidence to charge Cary Stayner with the murder of Yosemite naturalist Joey Armstrong. The two-page indictment states Stayner killed Armstrong, quote, willfully, deliberately, maliciously, and with premeditation. The 26-year-old Armstrong's beheaded body was found inside Yosemite National Park, making her murder a federal case. Despite the notoriety, Stayner's attorney plans to handle this case like any other.
You know, I try to be an effective advocate for my client and present their case the best I can. Each case is different, and each case probably requires different tactics.
After his arrest, Stayner reportedly confessed not only to Armstrong's murder, but to those of Yosemite tourists Carol and Julie Sund and Silvina Peloso. He outlined the killings again for a television reporter 2 days later, words that will likely come back to haunt him in court.
You have constitutional and statutory rights when a suspect is dealing with a law enforcement agent. But when he's dealing with a news reporter or a news station, there are no such rights.
But the credibility of Stayner's confessions will likely be attacked. Already, there are inconsistencies. For instance, Stayner told the television reporter he did not sexually molest any of the women before killing them. But sources close to the case tell News Center 4 there was physical evidence of a sexual assault found on Julie's body at Lake Don Pedro. And Newsweek reports Stayner told the FBI he forced Julie's son to perform oral sex for hours before killing her. Despite his admissions, the Cedar Lodge handyman is expected to enter a not guilty plea at his arraignment.
A not guilty plea is not a statement that you're saying, I'm innocent of these charges. A not guilty plea is a statement saying, I'm not admitting it at this point. The burden is on you to prove, or the government, to prove me guilty beyond a reasonable doubt.
And again, the arraignment in the Armstrong case is set for 10 o'clock tomorrow morning here in Fresno. It's important to remember, Pam, that Stainer, even though he has reportedly confessed, has not been charged in the San Peloso murders. We are told that investigation is ongoing and that the charges in that case would likely be filed in state court, probably in Mariposa County, which is where the 3 women originally disappeared back in February. Back to you.
All right, Laura, thank you for that update for us. In a related matter, an ex-con, once considered a potential suspect in the San Peloso murders, says he told the FBI so many stories he couldn't think of anymore. Eugene Dykes told the Associated Press that he does not feel guilty about sending the FBI on a wild goose chase. He said agents should have known he was not involved, even though he once signed a statement saying that he killed Carol Sand. He said agents got fed up with him and put him in prison for violating his parole. Dykes is scheduled to be released in March.
Police are now looking for 2 17-year-old identical twins who've been missing